Well, you may have seen the new decorations in our backyard. This is where they grew them all. It's just a small look at what you can expect at the University of Minnesota Arboretum. The Apple House is a place that you can go that's just beyond the Arboretum, and this is where you can buy these pumpkins. You can learn more about what they do. That is, of course, where you can learn about the apples and, of course, the grapes as well. And there are over 500 varieties of pumpkins, gourds, and squash that are all there as well. So we want to welcome our next guest. You know, it's all about wine, and so you were at the fair with us, which we loved, and we have Assistant Professor of Grape Breeding at the U. We have Soon Lee Tay. Did I say it right? Thank you for coming back. You were at the fair, at the barn. We talked, Bobby and Laura did a story with you because you, of course, were in the Hort building with all of this. And people might be surprised that there are amazing grapes that are completely hardy at this latitude. And you guys have been doing this for how long at the U?
Yeah, we've been doing this at the university for over 120 years now, focusing on both wine grapes and also table grape breeding.
Table grape and wine grapes.
Yep.
So there is a difference, and of course you don't have to bury them like you have to, but you have those grapes there that you bury. And is that how you're able to hybridize and figure out these?
Yeah, we actually rely on a lot of traditional breeding methods, meaning we're crossing the good with the good, and in this case, we're crossing things that are cold hardy with the one that have good fruit quality and also being resistant to diseases, and then just use traditional breeding to help us be more efficient in identifying new varieties that are potentially hardy and also disease resistant and have good fruit quality.
How long does it take? Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying they're harvesting here, but go ahead.
How long does it take to get a grape from when you start to hybridize it to where it's ready to be produced?
Yeah, we would say that at least it takes 15 years from the initial crossing to the final release of a varieties, but it can take as many as 30 years to do it. So it's a long-term investment of process.
Just like the apples.
Exactly.
Just like the apples. So we here have a bunch of ones that are potentially, so right now they just have numbers, right?
Yep.
And these, Frontenac is something that you already do. What do you want us to try?
Yeah, so I think it would be good to try all the way from the progression from all the way on this side all the way to here. So the one on our right here are the stuff that were actually one of the early varieties that was selected. And at the time, we selected them because it's cold hardy, it has good characteristics, but it's not quite there yet. There's still a lot of flaws. And so over the years, we've improved to releasing this variety called Frontenac.
So this became this.
Yeah.
Do you see the difference? Look at that. That's amazing. So Viperia, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Vitis viperia is a wild species that you can grow in the state of Minnesota.
And then this is what you make wine out of,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So
Then it
this,
went from here to here to here?
yeah, exactly. So you can see that the characteristic change over the years in terms of breeding process. We've made tremendous gain in breeding.
So now we're here, and these are numbered, and they'll be named if they make it.
Exactly.
So tell us about these.
And so these are the new testing material that we hopefully will release over the next few years. But the idea here is that we're trying to collect multiple years worth of data to see whether or not they continue to be cold hardy, they continue to have excellent fruit quality, and how do they do just in terms of just overall characteristics.
Wow, and now of course you go ahead and you're also making the wine out there to understand what people could do with this. Now, are these table grapes or are these wine grapes?
So these are wine grapes. So the session that we did at the State Fair was all table grapes. So
Oh,
these are
that's
all
right.
wine grape
Right, they
breeding.
were table.
That's right, I remember that now.
I never knew that wine grapes like this were so delicious to eat.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I never knew that. I always thought they were more bitter or more dry, or more what's the word I'm looking for? Like dry in your mouth?
Yeah, astringent.
Tannin.
Yeah, the tannin, the astringency.
Wow, that
Yep.
one's really good. I think you should, whatever,
delicious.
A519, you need to do that one.
Yeah, this is actually one of the favorites in the program as well.
Is this a fun job?
It is an absolute fun job because this is such an exciting time. It's a harvest time. We get to taste all new varieties and materials that are coming out. But of course, we're in for a pleasant surprise. But at the same time, we are also in sometimes for a rude surprise because some of the stuff just tastes absolutely nasty. But this is where we come in. We use this technology and we try
I
to
love the
advance
honesty.
the
That's
breeding.
that's what science is about. You
Absolutely.
have the great and the nasty, and you got to figure out what's in the
Exactly.
middle. Hey, you were wonderful, and we ran out of time. We were having so much fun.
Awesome.
Did you have
Well,
another
one
question?
question. What kind of wine is it going to produce? Bordeaux.
Well, so
Frontenac.
these are red wine grape variety. So
Right.
obviously the wine grape variety are gonna have a different style than for example a Bordeaux or a French kind of wine because now those are actually named based on region. These are named based on the name of the variety.
Do you put them in oak? Do you age them in oak?
Yeah, you can. So